He Wangdi and his team fell in ambush.
The CIA covertly trained almost 300 Tibetan freedom fighters who were the Tibetan Khampas. The Tibetan Khampas' involvement in Nepal's Mustang district represent a unique chapter in the history of Tibetan resistance against Chinese rule. Here's a brief incident in history. Who were the Tibetan Khampas? The Khampas are ethnic Tibetans from the Kham region, located in eastern Tibet, China, known for their fierce warrior culture, and the Khampas played a crucial role and became key figure in the resistance movement, opposing Chinese policies and fighting for Tibetan autonomy. After investigating the activities of Khampas by Nepalese army, the team found that nearly 9,000 Khampas had come from Tibet, crossing the Himalayan mountains and settled at different places. They possessed adequate weapons, bullets, and explosives. Their main headquarters was set up at Kasan Camp, located at the foot of the Nilgiri Himalayan mountains. Camp Hell, Colorado, United States. The Tibetan Training Center. The Tibetan call Camp Hell Tumra, the Tibetan words for garden. From 1958 to 1964, the CIA covertly trained almost 300 Tibetan freedom fighters at Camp Hell, Colorado, United States. The CIA chose Camp Hell because its terrain and alpine condition was similar to many of the physical features of eastern Tibet. Khampas were also supported by the Indian government as well. Around the time, Indian troops were deployed in Nepal-China border areas. They provided military intelligence and other guidance to the Khampas. Following the 1959 Tibetan Uprising and the subsequent flight of the Dalai Lama to India, many Khampas also fled Tibet. A significant number of these fighters regrouped in the Mustang district of Nepal, a remote and rough area near the Tibetan border. In Mustang, the Khampas established a base of operation with the help of the CIA to continue their guerrilla warfare against Chinese forces in Tibet. This location provided strategic advantages due to its difficult terrain and relative inaccessibility, which made it a suitable hideout and operational base for their activities. From Mustang, the Khampas, under the umbrella of the Chushi Gangdruk 4 Rivers 6 Rangers Resistance Army, carried out numerous raids and attacks against Chinese military installations and supply lines in Tibet. Their activities included ambushes, sabotage, and gathering intelligence on Chinese movements. These guerrilla tactics aimed to disrupt Chinese control and maintain a sense of resistance among Tibetans under Chinese rule. The Khampas' presence in Mustang and their resistance efforts were supported covertly by the CIA as part of the US government border Cold War strategy to undermine communist influence. The CIA provided Khampas with training, arms, and supply, helping them sustain their operation against the Chinese. Khampa Raj in Mustang. The period known as Khampa Raj in Mustang refers to the time when Khampa fighters established Chushi independence zone in the region, effectively governing parts of Mustang with a degree of autonomy. This era lasted from the early 1960s until the mid-1974. The presence of the Khampa fighters in Mustang created a complex and often tense relationship with the local population.
Khampas has set up camps in Nepal with the objective of capturing Mustang district and making it a guerrilla base to recapture Tibet. If Nepal took steps to disarm Khampas, they were ready to attack Nepali troops too, because they had better weapons and technology than the Nepalese army, which were provided by America and India. At that time, Nepal's financial situation was not so good, and in Mustang and other Himalayan regions, there was an unofficial rule of Khampa rebels. The laws and regulations were dictated by the Khampas.
One of the prominent leaders of the Khampas fighters in Mustang was the most faithful commander of CIA, Commander General Ge Wangdi, also known as Wang Du.
Wang Du was a highly respected commander who played a crucial role in organizing and leading the resistance activities. Ge Wangdi was the military leader of Khampas and he was trained by Royal Military Academy, Britain. His leadership was instrumental in maintaining the moral and effectiveness of the Khampa fighters during their time in Mustang. However, the Khampa resistance faced significant challenges. The Chinese military's increasing presence and control in Tibet, along with diplomatic pressure on Nepal, made it increasingly difficult for Khampas to operate from Mustang. Due to security risks, the government of China made an agreement with the Nepalese government to control Khampa activities.
After the agreement, Nepal decided to conduct disarming operation against Khampa and eventually decided to crack down the Khampas fighters and their activities in borders.
Nepal army made contact with Ge Wangdi to surrender and hand over the weapons. They were also promised to given Nepalese citizenship, land and money. Initially, rebels agreed and the date of handover was fixed for July 20, 1974. But few days later, the date extended to July 26, 1974 upon request of Khampas. However, during this time, Nepalese spies reported that Ge Wangdi and his bodyguard were seen heading westward Nepal, attempting to flee to India from Mustang. Capturing the escaped rebels who fled under the pretense of surrender had now become a matter of honor for the Nepalese army. A few days later, Ge Wangdi and his team fell in ambush at Thinker on 15 September 1974. Suddenly firing started from both sides. Wangdi along with some other Khampa fighters, horses and mules were killed. This event took place near the village of Thinker in the Darchula district of Nepal, just near the India-Nepal border. Ge Wangdi and his guerrilla were killed by the Nepal army under command of Lieutenant Colonel Satish Shamsher Rana. On 16 September 1974, a large number of exiled Tibetans and Indian officials carrying garlands, khada and refreshments waited anxiously all day on the Indian side of the Mahakali River to welcome Commander Ge Wangdi and his associates. However, Ge Wangdi had already been killed. The next day, upon receiving the news from spies, the eyes of those eagerly waiting for the welcome filled with tears and the atmosphere became silent. The Khampa Raj in Mustang is a significant chapter in the history of Tibetan resistance and the broader geopolitical dynamics of the Cold War era. The Khampas' presence in Mustang, their military activities, and the eventual crackdown by Nepalese authorities had profound impact on the region and its people. While the Khampas' bravery and determination continue to inspire the Tibetan resistance movement, their legacy in Mustang also serves as a reminder of the complex interplay between local resistance movements, international politics, and the lives of individuals and communities caught in the crossfire. Following the encounter with Ge Wangdi, the remaining Khampa fighters in Mustang were forced to disband. Many were relocated to refugee camps in Nepal or India. With this, the 15-year-long 1960-1974 Khampa rule in the Himalayan region of Nepal also came to an end.